What is going on, guys? How's everybody doing? Hope you're all well. This is Dan here from Trading with Dan. So I wanted to do a video, a very quick. This is going to be a very quick video. I may do some more detailed videos of just going into what I'm going to show you very quickly in more detail. But just for this one, I wanted to just make it very quick for you guys with short attention spans. So yeah, so here we go. So basically I have an automated trading strategy that I use. I basically use three sites to implement. I use my exchange. So this is a Bitcoin trading strategy, so I'm using the Bitmex exchange. I then use a charting platform, charting software called TradingView, and that is where I have my charts with my indicators set that will basically isolate the parameters that trades are triggered, and that TradingView software will send basically commands to my to a site called 3Commas, which are a trading bot website. Trading bot, not they're a trading bot website. That they're a website that has to trade, that operates trading bots. So I then use my TradingView to tell the trading bot what to do, and then use the trading bot to then tell to do what it's told to do on my exchange. So obviously there isn't a way for me to connect to the Bitcoin exchange that I use, Bitmex, from directly from TradingView. So obviously the go between is the 3Commas website. Yeah, so here's what I've got. Here is my trading strategy. Here's my setup. It's similar to a parabolic SAR stop and reverse points. So these are technically stop and reverse points. So as the trend is going up, this green line will be going up until that green line price meets that green line, and it breaks. At which point the chart will the line will stop and reverse and turns into a sell, up until the point that this obviously happened quite quickly, that the price goes back through the line, and then it stop and reverses and goes the other way. So it then signifies an upwards trend. So anyway, so yeah, so these stop and reverse points that are governed by the settings that I use for my indicator are what decides where my strategy will buy and sell. So that will be the buy and sell points. And for the time frame, there are a few variables. Obviously, this is actually the settings for this indicator. They are the time frame that I'm going to use the indicator on, and then they are the actual where I'm going to take profit and where my stop loss is going to be on the trade. But actually I program where my stop loss and where my profit will be directly into the bot, because it's the bot that's controlling my trading on the exchange. But I do also put the same inputs onto my TradingView, because then it will just show me on the chart where those points are. So here we go. So this is what I do. So we're connected here, so I have these alerts set up. These alerts for this 10-minute chart, these message my bot. So when we get a trade, it will send this message to my bot, and the bot will then execute the trade. This is basically the message that the bot can read, so it knows obviously which my account is, what it's meant to do when it receives that command. So yeah, so that's that. So there's trading alerts, and obviously alert will come up on my screen too. So yeah, so my strategy I use, I have a 1%. So it's obviously I'm using it on a short time frame. So I have a 1% profit target I'm going for, and a 2% stop loss. So obviously that's sort of like an inverse risk reward. Obviously my reward is lower than my risk, but back tested with my indicator and how my indicator works, it's going with the momentum of the market. So what I'm relying on is obviously getting more than two profitable trades to each one stop loss, because obviously two profitable trades to one stop loss would mean I'm just breaking even, and as long as I have more than two, then I'm making money. So yeah, so the thing about cryptocurrency markets, they're unlike regular stock markets in the sense that they trade 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There is literally no downtime. So whilst the New York Stock Exchange will be closed at it's only open for 8 hours a day, Monday to Friday, and then it's not open on holidays and days that it's not open, or as half days, whereas Bitcoin never sleeps, it never shuts down. So this does on one hand, it poses a problem in the respect that I can't sit watching the chart for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, basically. And even if I was going to sit watching 8 hours a day, that's still quite a big ask, just to sit and watch one asset. So it was definitely something that I wanted to find out how to do, and that was to obviously set up an automated trading strategy. So this is the actual strategy that I've gone for. So I won't go into any more detail on the strategy. All you really need to know is the buys, the take profits, how the bot works, how it connects to my exchange. So as you can see here, so today we had this was this morning. This was at 2:30 in the morning. I got a buy signal, so my bot executed that trade, and its profit of 1% was hit on. It was actually hit on this candle here. This candle, I don't know why it says profit on here. I think I don't, but my actual exchange. So I either bought me in at a better price. Market bought me in at a better price, and then then its actual 1% profit target was slightly lower than maybe where the top of that was. But I actually woke up and my trade was closed. So closed for the profit, for the 1% profit. So whilst on my chart, it could also be that it's will be like where a candle will have to close over a certain level. But yeah. So anyway. So basically that's a profitable trade. So here though we had an unprofitable trade. So what we have the stop loss level, which is this red line here, where it went short, which was this white line here. So yeah, I mean, if you go back to here, this is white line is where it goes long on this actual chart. But when it went to buy, when it crossed over the red, the bot would have fired off and it would have gone to the exchange. So I probably bought around here, which is rather than the white line, which is obviously that, as you can see, is the white line is where the bar closes. So my bot obviously would have bought when we were over here, and then obviously that is lower than here. So obviously my 1% would have been in here rather than up here. Anyway, so we sold here. So what happens is we didn't actually hit the stop loss. We did hit the stop loss, but what happens is we got a buy. We got the red was here, this red line here, which is the stop and reverse line. It's actually lower than my stop loss. So when that crosses, that clicks to a buy, and then I have another order that basically when it clicks to a buy, it will shut down. It will shut off this trade. It will close this trade. That's the one, close the trade. So my loss was actually less than the total amount. So that's so obviously you have to factor that in, that sometimes whilst my stop loss is 2%, I'm often not hitting the 2% stop, but obviously when I hit my profit is still always 1%. So we had that trade there. So you could say probably at the moment we're maybe just about losing money just on these two. So we go back a bit further. This was the trade before. We had a buy signal, and we took profit. And then as you can see here, we had a sell signal. We broke through the green line. Stop and reverse line went above. We were short here, and then we took profit. Here was a bit of a chop zone, and I've actually been looking at using 15-minute charts because it just get rid of some of the chop zone because it's a larger time frame. So but either way, we weren't losing a lot of money here, because then we have the buy signal, and then the sell again is above the stop loss, the buy signal, the sell. So this is getting in and out of this trade. It's buying, it's not getting anywhere. It's basically closing the trade for small loss, closing the trade for small loss, and then obviously we took the sell and the profit there and the buy and the profit here, but we weren't actually losing a lot here. But yeah, so that's little chop zone. So that obviously, this is not ideal market conditions for my bot, but there are things that we can do about this, which I'll talk about in a minute. Then we have a sell, and then a profit. We have a buy, then a profit. We have a sell, then a profit. We have a buy, then a profit. We have a sell, then a profit. And then here we have a buy that does get stopped out. So that is a stop out, and that does actually hit the stop out. This ST is the stop out, so you can tell when you hit a stop out, it says ST, stop out, stop. So whereas these other ones don't say stop when they flip to buy and sell, it's because it gets you out before the actual stop loss. Sell, profit, buy, profit. Here a buy and sell, buy, literally again, this is sort of a, I mean, this isn't even really a chop zone. It's not even moving. The price is basically the same price. Moving a bit further back, buy, profit. So yeah, I mean, so there you can see there's quite a lot more sells than buys. What am I talking about? There's quite a lot more profits than there are losses. Definitely more than the 2-to-1. So that is a strategy just left automated, is making you money whilst you're not there. Not making you money 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but it is waiting for the opportunities that arise 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So another thing you can do, so there are different parameters. You can increase, I'm using a 1% profit, 2% stop loss, and you can increase it to a 2% profit, 2% stop loss, or even a higher than that, or so that's one thing you can do. But I have found this 1 to 2%. I mean, you can see there's quite a lot of profitable trades. The losing trades, when I say losing, most of them are not actual stop outs for the 2% loss. They are just the market flipping around, and you're getting out for like a smaller loss, a lot smaller than the 2%. So you could change to a higher time frame. So if we change this to a higher time frame, like this, so now we're working on 1 hour bars. So there will obviously be less trades. So we'll have a buy here and a profit, and a sell here and a profit. So we didn't actually have that bad trade. The trade that wasn't profitable. We have a buy, then a profit. We have a sell, then a profit. We have a buy and a stop, so we get a stop there. We then have a sell and a stop up here. Buy, profit, sell, profit, buy, profit. So yeah, you can see that overall you can have the hour strategy or the 10-minute strategy, or I've actually been looking now at a 15-minute strategy, just because it gets rid of some of that other chop zone that I showed you earlier. So, and also there's no reason why you can't have both of these running at the same time. They're obviously different time frames. You could see the one I showed you first had numerous trades on the 10-minute chart in this amount of time. And this 1 hour chart, I mean, this is the 18th of December, and this is, so it's only had 1, 2, 3 trades since the 18th of December, whereas the 10-minute strategy has 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, we're still in January here, so we have a 18th December. We have a lot more trades basically. So you can have both running though, because both are legitimate strategies. The 1 hour, I mean, the higher the time frame, usually that means the move will have to be bigger to break the stop and the reverse point, which will mean that the move usually has more power, and that will often be more not be more profitable, but more often will be a profitable trade. But they are fewer and further between than on a 10-minute chart, and you might just be wanting to, I mean, as long as it's profitable, it doesn't matter, does it? You might just want to be churning the trades out. So yeah, so like I said, so that is the TradingView. They're the alerts. This is the 3Commas. So this is actually where my bot is operated. So if we go on to my bots on here. My bots, I have the 2 bots. You have to actually create a bot for the long trades and a separate bot for the short trades, and you have to then also set up a Bitmex account for each one. You can't actually trade them both on the same one. You can't be going long and the short and it be executing the orders on the same one. You have to have one dedicated bot for the long trades, and it's a long only bot, and then that will then go to a Bitmex that you use for those long trades. And then the short bot is a short only bot that when it goes on to you use on a Bitmex account that you then use for the short trades. You can't actually, you could set both these bots up to the same exchange, but then they won't execute share of trades if there already is a trade on the account. So as you could see with the strategy, you will get in and then you'll get out. You won't be going in and getting in again. You have to have 2 separate accounts basically. So it's a bit of a faff, but it's not really anything thingy. So yes, if you go onto the bot, you can see the bot. This was the trade that the deal that came in today. These are the messages. So the messages to start the deal, the message to close at market price, which is your stop, but you don't actually need that to do your stop, because you actually can do that on the bot. So if we go onto the bot, this is how the bot is programmed. It's a Bitmex long bot. This is it's trading on my Bitmex long exchange. It is trading this Bitmex pair because obviously there's different pairs. It is a long bot. So this is where you put your base order size, or your order size, the size that you want. So I was just testing it out on a 0.2 Bitcoin size trade. So I'll be buying 0.2 Bitcoins worth of Bitcoin for each trade. There are other functionalities that you can, obviously there's lots of functionalities you can do with the bot, but I don't use them. I just use the one trade. This is the safety order size, which is basically an averaging offside trade, which I don't use. So whilst it's got an amount there, I've got my safety order set to 0, so you can just ignore that. The leverage, I just put it to 20x leverage because my stop's 2%, so it just means I'm just not tying up the capital. Not that it even really matters, but it just means I can obviously go quite hard on a small amount of capital trading 20x with my tight stops, keeping churning the trades over for 1% scalps. So yes, I do that. I set my order as a market order because you might not get filled on a limit order, so you want to enter the trade with a market order. Obviously your take profit is going to be a limit order. It will just put the limit order in at the price of the 1% price. So here's the other important part. There are various ways you can execute basically deal start conditions. So this is basically what makes my bot start. And like I showed you before, I'm using a TradingView custom signal. So that is my that is my signals here on TradingView that then send the alert. So I have that's just the one you select, and then so like here's instructions for what you need to do. So basically on your TradingView, you go to your profile settings, SMS to email. So you set your SMS to email as this address here, because this is the 3Commas basically email address. So it basically sends a message to here, that then receives your message. Let me just show you what the messages look. I showed you before, didn't I? The messages look like, let me go back. The messages look like this. So these are basically the messages that you send to that address, and that knows who you are, what bot you are, and then what it's meant to do. Go back to here again, sorry. So yeah. So that sends that to there. You go to TradingView custom signal. These are what your messages look like, and that basically tells you how to do that. Scrolling down the base, like I said, the base of the side. That's not scrolling down. That's not scrolled down, has it? So I've got my take profit as 1%. Trading off because it means only 1%. There's no point in trading it. And my stop loss at 2%, and my stop loss action will be closed deal. So that'll be a market close order. But my target profit is always a limit order. But yeah, so this is where I said it doesn't matter like what the actual settings are on my TradingView with regard to where it shows you the levels are for the take profit and the stops, because they are actually operated directly by the bot. So that's why the bot will fire before like the level that it will actually say on here that the candle closed, so the bot will fire before when it says buy, when it breaks the line, and then what that does is gets you in the trade at a better price. So then it gets you out of the trade at a better price, which is why I was in and out of this trade before it then had to hit that profit level there. So going back to 3Commas, yes, so that controls that. Again, like I said, these safety orders, we don't use them, no advanced settings. So yeah, so that's the 3Commas, and then obviously that then connects to the Bitmex account and then does the trading. So yeah, so that is a fully automated trading strategy, based predicated on having a profitable indicator set up, that you can then use to send the alerts to your bot that then executes your trades for you. So yeah, I mean, I will potentially do a longer video where literally from scratch I will set up the whole thing, the alerts on TradingView, the set up the bots on here, connect the bots to the exchange, so you can literally see every single process that you do. But that was just a quick, I thought it was going to be a quick overview, but it turns out it's a 21-minute video. So there you go. So like I said, you can have two strategies: 10-minute, 1 hour, trades. Watch your steep. You don't have to watch them. You don't have to be there. You're obviously going to take some losses. I mean, no trading strategy is 100%. Obviously, it can't be. You can play around with the time frames, with the take profits and the stops. I mean, like I said, you just to take profits and stops to show you how many profitable trades or not you will get on the chart. But obviously, the profits and stops are controlled actually by your bot. All that actually is triggered by here is the alert when you cross the stop and reverse line. Yeah, so if you think that is interesting, I have a Telegram channel, which the details would be in the description of this video, that you can follow, and then and you can join the Telegram page and have a chat with me about it if you want to. And yeah, thanks for listening, and I hope you found that interesting.